Hello and welcome to Teacher Resources to Go. I am Carrie from the Mount Airy Branch Library of Carroll County Public Library. Thank you for joining me. Teacher Resources to Go is a place where we discuss resources you can use with your students, be it virtually, in person, homeschooling, or traditional schooling with a class. In past sessions, we've reviewed how to use CCPL's online resources like ebooks and e-audiobooks, author websites, and how to use videos through resources like Canopy with younger students. Today, I am going to be focusing on some educational videos you can use with your classes that are geared toward older students, so older elementary, middle, and even high school. And I'll also be showing you how you can expand these videos into entire lessons. This session will be of particular interest to those of you teaching virtually this fall with your classes. So when you're incorporating videos into your teaching, it's important that you are finding reputable sources and that they fall within fair use. And all the places I'll be pointing you toward today fit into those requirements. They are created by other community educators and are reliable resources that are scientifically accurate and age appropriate. Of course, when you're using videos with your class, you don't want to just kind of send them down the rabbit hole of the internet in general or YouTube in general. So it's great to have a guide for some really reliable resources without doing the research on your own. So some of the resources I'm going to share with you today are, of course, we start off at Carroll County Public Library's homepage every time. And then if you don't already know, I'll show you how to get to Carroll County Public Library's YouTube channel. We have videos, all of our virtual programming is being archived there, so programs like this and the other teacher resources programs will be there. But you can also find programs that speak directly to teenagers with like the Teen Zone program or science and craft programs as well for kids and middle schoolers and teens that you're welcome to use to incorporate into your lessons. And then I'll be showing you briefly the website for Edutopia. And then I have some really fun places on the internet that have really wonderful resources for other videos like the Houston Zoo, the Brain Scoop, Crash Course, and of course TED Talks. And what I'm really excited to show you at the end of the program is how to create lesson plans on TED Ed using some of these videos right away. So the first website where we're going to start off, of course, is at Carroll County Public Library's homepage. And our web address is www.library.carr.org. Now in the past with Teacher Resources, we've gone over how you can pick up books to use with your classes through Express Pickup. We've looked at our collections here with ebooks and digital content. Today I'm going to be showing you under the Programs tab, we have our calendar of events where you can find online virtual resources just like today's program and other programs that you might want to share with your classes. And then we're going to focus on our YouTube channel where all of these programs are archived. So we'll just click here and it will pull up CCPL's library YouTube channel. And this is the home page. You'll see some of the most recent uploads that we have there, but you'll also be able to find all of our videos on here. So there are going to be cooking classes, there are going to be book talks. Most of the programs, if they're geared toward teens, will be marked as such, although a lot of the adult programs that we have on here are perfectly appropriate for high schoolers as well. If you've missed any of the past teacher resources, you can always check them out here also. And if you're working with younger children, we do actually have a children and family section as well. So under channels, we have our CCPL Kids and Families. And these are all of the videos, the virtual programs that our children's librarians here have been doing. And they're just fantastic. These are great if you don't have time to do a read aloud with your students, but you want to introduce them to a local community member, or if one of the programs is relevant to your lesson plans and you want to save yourself some time. I know there's some wonderful down on the farm videos that we have here that would be great to incorporate into some lesson plans. So these are just wonderful resources that we encourage you to share as much as possible with your classes, and hopefully it will save you a little bit of trouble and time in trying to create your own videos as well. So that is CCPL, Carroll County Public Library's YouTube page. Next up, I'm going to show you just briefly the website for Edutopia. You may have heard of them. They are an educational foundation. It was founded by George Lucas, and they really have some amazing resources on their site. They do have videos and topics. This is more of a train the trainer kind of teacher training website, but they have updated it with like a lot of videos and information and articles about online learning and doing virtual learning. So I would highly encourage you to check out that. So if you are creating any of your own videos to do with teaching, definitely look at some of the articles for Edutopia. And one of their articles here is a 5-step guide to making your own instructional videos. So it really has some good tips and tricks for keeping videos short and keeping the information in bite-sized pieces, how to build in slides to your instructional videos, and everything from how and where you can record so that you get the most high interest and engaging videos for your students. So I highly recommend that you check them out as well. So moving on to some really fun resources that you can find on the internet to share with your students that are done by really reliable resources. So I know a lot of zoos and museums are doing a lot of virtual programs as well right now to kind of bring those experiences to the public when you can't be there live. So the Houston Zoo is one of my very favorites. They are doing live Facebook programs every week, so you can certainly tune in for those. But what I really love is right below that, you'll be able to see they have their Facebook Live library of all their archived programs. And there really are just a bunch of them. So these are zoo staff giving short video information about each of the areas in their zoo, some of the animals and their habitats. And they're just really cool. And of course, these are videos that most of us probably aren't going to be able to produce on our own. So just really great videos. There's more information. Here's one on snakes. So I'm going to move through some of these video resources pretty quickly, but I encourage you to explore them on your own. And when we go back to make a lesson plan at the end of this on our own, we'll go back and use one of these videos. And I'll show you how easy it is to set that up. So the next website I wanted to show you, if you haven't heard of it before, Brain Scoop is the educational channel that is done for the Field Museum, which is in Chicago. It's hosted by scientist and educator Emily Grassley. And not only are the videos informative, but Emily is just super smart and super engaging. And as you'll see with the videos, she usually puts a really cool, interesting twist on some of her videos. So these are mostly science and history topics, of course, but just really a lot of fun. Here's one on the joy of cooking with bugs. But they show all sorts of different videos and explore different topics through the Field Museum. And another resource where you can find really great engaging videos for your students, Crash Course. If you haven't heard of this website, you may have heard of its creators. So this is one of the original YouTube educational channels. It's hosted by Hank Green and John Green. You may know them through their other blog, the Vlog Brothers. You may know them through John Green's work as a YA author. But Hank and John, they host a lot of the episodes. It's been going on long enough. They have a really great backlog of programs. And the more recent ones, they have some other educators that help host the programs as well. But these mostly, again, focus on math and science and history, and are really great for high schoolers especially. And just really great short videos. They're usually right around 10 minutes long to engage your students with. If you are, again, working with younger students, Crash Course does have a younger channel as well. And it's Crash Course Kids, and Crash Course Kids for children 5th grade and up. So they're very similar topics as in Crash Course, just slightly shorter videos with the ideas and the lessons broken down into smaller chunks. But just a lot of fun, really well produced. Again, reputable resources. You can go and grab any of these videos. And of course, you'll want to preview them just to make sure that all the content's matching up with what you're teaching at the moment, but you'll be able to know that they are age appropriate and accurate. All right, so the last place I'm going to show you where you can grab videos to use in your lessons, videos that are already done that you don't have to worry about recording yourself, is the website for TED Talks. These, of course, are hugely popular. They're really geared toward the general population and adults, but on the TED website, you'll be able to find lots of videos out there that are appropriate for middle school and high school students as well. There are all sorts of articles, and TED has a blog about what are the best student videos. I've just pulled up here one with Jacqueline Woodson titled What Reading Slowly Taught Me About Writing. So Jacqueline does books for really every age. She has adult all the way down to picture book, but some of her mid-grade and YA books are some of my favorites. And this would be a great way to incorporate an author talk in with a writing project or a reading assignment if you're doing a class read. And there are lots on here, so I'll just suggest a few. You can see I already typed in another favorite author, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. She has a TED Talk that is called The Danger of a Single Story, that's used in a lot of high school lesson planning. And it's a wonderful video to watch, again, if you're trying to incorporate something extra, something special, another point of view for a writing assignment in particular. And these are all authors that you could, get the book from CCPL through an express pickup service, or you could go in and get the books that are available on ebook and audiobook format to share with your students. In some of the past teacher resources programs, I showed you how to do that. So if you're not sure, definitely check those out or give us a call. We can always assist you over the phone. George Takei is another one that I looked at, who has this wonderful speech, Why I Love the Country That Once Betrayed Me. George Takei, of course, does have some YA books out about his life experiences and about being a young child in an American internment camp, and about his life and career ever since then. So that's a wonderful one, again, especially for high school students. And then another author I wanted to point out. So another author I wanted to point out to you here down under How I Harness the Wind is William Kamwamba. And he has books out about his experience learning how to harness the wind to create energy in his home community. So there's a picture book out that's available about his life story. There's an adult book and a YA version of that book. So this one really spans a lot of ages as well. But just a little extra something to add interest and to really grab your students' attention and maybe find somebody speaking that's not necessarily you, but that would resonate with your students as well. Okay, so now I'm going to show you TED Ed. TED Ed is TED's Youth and Education Initiative. It aims to spark and celebrate the ideas and knowledge sharing of teachers and students around the world. So the great thing about the TED Ed website is that you can search videos. You will know that they've already been categorized for students. So under here, you can discover lessons and videos. And I'll briefly show this to you. They have created a platform for which you can not only create and share educational videos as educators, but you can also create lesson plans on that same platform to go with them. And all of these lesson plans that you see here are lessons that you can actually use. So for this one, the Egyptian myth of the death of Osiris, this educator has set up an introduction. They've uploaded their video, and these all come up under Watch. And then over here on the right-hand side under Think, there are a series of multiple choice questions. And then as you scroll down under Dig Deeper, they have included a little bit more information. And then there's a discussion. So there is a guided discussion and a open discussion as well, where students can post information, questions. You can start a conversation with your students directly. So if the platform that you're using to teach doesn't already have something like this, you can certainly use this in and of itself. If you already have a platform that you're teaching through, like Microsoft 365 or whatever you're using to contact your students, you can use and share these lessons. Additionally, you can customize this lesson. So maybe you like this educator's video, but you want to ask different questions or include a different introduction or include additional information here. You can use this and then publish it on your page and share the link with all of your students to go to as well. So that is if you're going to use one of the already made TED Ed videos. A really cool thing that I'm going to show you is how to create your own. So I have already gone in and created a couple of lesson plans. You'll see because I was in here with the death of Osiris. We'll delete these. But I created a lesson plan for a Grace Lynn story time using one of Grace Lynn's videos. This one, Teacher Resources to Go, is one of my previous programs here. So I was able to title it, put the intro in, and just include my YouTube video URL in order to get this up. I quickly added some multiple choice questions. And some open-ended questions. Under Dig Deeper, I included a little bit more information about copyright law and fair use. And then there's a discussion. So again, with a discussion, there's a guided discussion. So I started off with a question, a prompt, and had some responses. And then there's also an open discussion. So if students want to start their own discussion or have a question or comment about the video or the lesson that you've just done with them, you can do that. So just to prove to you how very easy it is to use this, I am going to walk you step by step in real time. I won't edit this part, I promise, about how to create a lesson plan using the TED Ed format. So you do need to sign up. It is free, but you just put your information in. So you start with creating. So it really is as easy as picking a video, building your lesson, and then publishing and sharing it. So let's go back to one of these other websites. Let's see, I want to do the Brain Scoop website. I'm going to choose one of these because these are really cool videos. I'll do venoms versus poisons. So let's pull up this video. Right under here, under share, I can copy the link. All right, so I'll go back to my TED Ed page and just enter this URL. So it automatically comes up. So you can enter whatever URL you want. You can pull a video that's already done on one of the websites that we previewed before. You can pull one up from an author website. You just want to make sure that anything that you're using on here falls within fair use with sharing the video. So you wouldn't want somebody's film of an author talk that was taken from the audience that wasn't done with the publisher's permission or the author's permission or anything like that. So, and you could also create your own video recording of yourself and post it here to build a lesson upon it like this as well. So once you get your video, you just click on the video and it has a little bit of information. It credits where you got it from, which is fantastic. And we'll continue. So the lesson title, Venoms versus Poisons. And get started here. Let's begin. So, some snakes are venomous. And if I knew more information, I would add that there in the introduction. And then under the think, you can add some multiple choice questions and some open answer questions. I always like to have a combination of both. So for multiple choice questions, you just add your question. Are all snakes venomous? Yes, all snakes are venomous. No, not all snakes are venomous. And let's see, what's a good answer for C? Only some snakes are venomous. So as you can see, I am not a teacher at heart because I do not make very good multiple choice questions. I'm going to go back and change B to no, snakes are never venomous, because I don't want to have more than one answer that could be right, unless I was going to do the tricky thing with making B and C correct. So then you just mark whichever one is correct. You can make as many options as you want. If you want to add more options, you can do that. It's really cool down here if it's a really hard question and you want to point them in the direction of where in the video they can get a video hint. You can do that and it will play back the little clip of the video as well. So let's save that. And then we'll add another question. I'll just show you the open answer question. The next question: what is the difference between poison and venom? And we'll save that. And like I said, you guys are going to have so many better questions here for the topics that you're teaching. So supplemental information, if you wanted to add an article about snakes and venom and poison, more information can be found at www. whatever the site is or whatever resource. You can save that in there. And you can always cite your sources on here as well. So if you're pulling up information from a book or another online resource in addition to the video that you're posting, you can just cite that. These do not have to be open for public sharing. You can do that if you choose to do that, but you don't have to. I think most teachers are going to be using these in their own classrooms and just sending the links out to their students and not having them open. So for a discussion, for a prompt, write a short story about a venomous snake. Or you could have a question to spur discussion here as well. So I'm just kind of doing these questions on the fly, like I said, to show you exactly really how quickly you can do this. And again, you don't have to have all of these sections. If you wanted a conclusion, you can, but you don't have to. But as you can see, they're really generous with the amount of space that they give you. So we will discard the changes to that one. We'll skip the conclusion. There are more options here if you want to preview. We'll preview what this is going to look like. Venoms versus poisons. A very brief lesson using the brain scoop. And you'll see how the questions come up. You'll see the information. Okay. And then you can either go back and edit it, or you can publish it. When you publish it, you'll see you have the option to require students to use TED accounts to log in or not to. So it's very similar to sharing other documents on sites. So I always mark it that students do not have to be required to use a lesson just because it's one more kind of thing for them to do. But it really is super simple to set it up if you prefer that they do that. And then you share your lesson. You can either copy the link, which is what I usually do. You can share via email with the information here, or share on social media as well. I imagine that you'll be sharing the link as well for the most part. So that really is how easy it is to set up a page on TED Ed. Like I said, if you're using a variety of teaching methods, if you're going all virtual and you have a classroom, this would be a really nice option to kind of plan ahead and get some brief snippets of videos pulled together for your future lessons that will save you time in the future. If you don't have to do synchronous teaching, if you're doing some pre-recorded things or sending out assignments via email, or like I mentioned, Microsoft 365, this would really lend itself well to those platforms, and you can just, direct them here using your link to get these small snippets. And it would also be fun to take the time to create your own lesson, and it just looks really professional and pulled together. It was super quick to do. I'm and all of my library coworkers are learning how to do online virtual sessions just like you teachers are all of a sudden, And this has been by far, TED Ed setting this up has been easier than anything I have seen before. They send you a lot of information. There's a lot of troubleshooting. There's just a whole lot of information here. So that is our teacher talk for today. Let me pull up our resources again. All right, so here are our resources that we use today. We have Carroll County Public Library's website and all of those fun places we went to find videos to help teach your students and hopefully save you a little bit of time and aggravation and a little bit of brain power with lesson planning. If you do have any questions, feel free to comment here, and certainly always give us a call at your local library branch. There are staff available to help answer your questions, help pull books on a particular subject for you, or help guide you to a reputable video regarding whatever it is that you're teaching. We're certainly here to help and support you during this time. So thank you for joining me again. Definitely check out our YouTube channel if you want to see any older archived teacher resources programs as well. And thank you and happy teaching.